Then Jed and Hannah threw chicken tenders off the roof, so I guess those chickens got to fly again. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the latest episode of The Bachelorette, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to you guys about it because what a freaking episode. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe because I put out new videos every single week and it helps me a whole bunch. Now, let's get to the action. Mike has a smile that could brighten 2016. So the first date was that Hannah took them to do a pregnancy simulator. At first it's all chill, like they're just holding little baby dolls and putting clothespins on their nipples, you know, just a typical Tuesday afternoon. Then we see Jason Biggs and his wife, and yeah, they realize that they're going to be doing one of those pregnancy simulators where you put the little pads on your stomach and then you feel the pain of a fiery core, like a sun core. Like not just like an apple core, but like a sun, so like painful. And they figure, you know, it's probably makes sense to ask the men some questions about pregnancy. And when asked what pregnancy is, Tyler C says, oh yeah, that's when the woman's stomach gets bigger and she gets hungrier. Boy! It astounds me that anyone is allowed to reproduce. Like, you don't need a license for it. You don't need to pass a test. They're just like, yeah, just have babies. Like, this man could literally well, he wouldn't give birth, but like he could help give birth. You know, put some ingredients in the mixture. But like, that answer, like, I know that he's like the favorite for some people, but no. My favorite reaction by far was John Paul Jones doing the pregnancy simulator because he looked like he was exorcising a lot of fecal matter and also demons.
I can't laugh at your wife.
But when Jed and her were doing the simulator, Hannah was just right there with him and they were connecting, man. There was a lot of I love, like a lot of love. I loved it, but also like a lot of I love between the two of them. Then, you know, they do the little cocktail party after the date, and, you know, the pregnancy simulator brought up a lot of pain for Mike because he actually lost a baby, and he was talking about this, and freaking Cam interrupts him 4 times. And he's like, I've got something really serious to talk to Hannah about. Like, no, she should have kept some of those chicken tenders to throw at his stupid head. Then Cam's having a conversation with Hannah finally, and all the guys are like, you know what? He interrupts everyone all the time. I'm gonna go interrupt him. So dude comes in, he's like, yo, time's up. And Cam's like, okay, just give us 2 minutes. He's like, no, I think time's up. And he's like, no, just give us time. He's like, I think time's up. And they go back and forth for like 20 minutes. It's just like, time's up. He's like, no, I'm okay. Time's up. No, I'm okay. Time's up. It just goes on. And it was just so uncomfortable. But eventually, you know, dude wins and Cam has to go off and be like, okay, I'm fine. Definitely gave like Ari and Becca vibes where she's like, just go. And he's like, do you want me to go? And she's like, yes, just go. And he's like, okay, I'm going. But he stays and she's like, leave. That's what it was. Jed was a sweetie boy. Then obviously Cam's all upset that he got interrupted. So he's like, love is worth fighting for, but I'm not gonna get physical. And I'm like, dude, the only thing you're fighting is the demons. And then, you know, Tyler C is talking to her and I'm like, dude, who's in charge of cutting Tyler C off? Because this dude is higher than those chicken tenders. And that kiss that he shared with her probably tasted like flour from Bambi. Then we see that Hannah ends up in the hospital because the men are so toxic. And my mom was like, plot twist, she ends up with the ambulance driver. Then she sends a note to the dude she had a date with. I don't remember his name. And she's like, sorry, I had to cancel our date. And he's like, meh. But then she's like, just come to my hotel suite. And all the guys are like, meh. And he shows up and she's like, yeah, I just need a lot of fluids. And I'm like, he could give you some fluids. So dude comes back from the date, leaving her a bunch of cute little notes about all the things he loves about her. And I was like, oh, precious. It was precious, but like not precious enough for me to actually learn the dude's name. It's fine. But then Luke P asks him, what was she wearing? Like, dude. No, you're so creepy. Like, who asks that? Then Hannah's like, oh wow, he did a really cute thing. I'm gonna actually go do the evening part of our date, when really, you know, the Bachelor producers were like, yeah, we actually have this private concert lined up, so we're gonna need you to hop out of bed. You signed a contract. And Hannah's like, I get you. So they go to a private concert and it's Lucas Graham, and I was excited because I actually know who this performer is. Though, fun fact, it's actually just David Dobrik, because when he's done lighting his friends on fire for the day, he actually, just goes on The Bachelorette and performs under the name Lucas Graham. Next date we have is Hannah takes a bunch of the men to do some posing in front of a camera, and she's like, oh, we're gonna have some really cute models for you to pose with, and they're naming off the names. It's like Priscilla and Everly or something, and I'm like, oh, I bet they're elderly people. Turns out they were animals, off by a whisker. Then Graham is like, I have a snake. They don't need a rat to pose with because Luke P is there. Then Demi's like, I'm gonna be sneaky and film the guys, and see if they're flirting with the makeup artist or flirting with one of the assistants that's on set. And it's like, look, I know that some of these people might be a little opportunistic, but what person is gonna flirt with someone else when you have literal cameras all around you? Like, they don't think that they have cameras filming even when there's not a camera crew there? Like, it was a cute idea, but I don't think they're that dumb. Then we had a classic case of people not knowing what show they're on because Luke P gets mad that, Hannah's kissing other guys. Yeah, that's the show. Wait till you get to Fantasy Suites. I got some bad news for you. And honestly, Hannah just became my queen because after the date, she comes up and she talks to him and she's like, look, I know you like me, but like, it's a lot. You're being really intense and it's coming off as arrogant because you think you've won this thing already and you have not won this thing. And honestly, it's irritating. And I was just like, what a queen, what a goddess. Like, she doesn't take any prisoners. She just calls people out when they're garbage. She's funny. She's quirky. And honestly, favorite Bachelorette so far. Probably favorite Bachelorette or Bachelor of the entire series. Fight me. When has a Bachelorette been so upfront with a villain? And Luke P is like, I don't see her seeing me that way. What? And after they have a conversation, Luke P keeps trying to like steal her from other guys still. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, she literally told you to calm down, that she was gonna find you and talk to you. Like, I was so uncomfy that I just felt like I had to poop. Like, that makes no sense, but that's the only way that I can describe how uncomfortable I was. No one. Literally no one. Luke P. I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna do it. Then we see her talk to Pete the pilot, and he makes her heart soar, and then her butt as he kisses her against a wall, and then her libido. For the rose ceremony, Cam feels the need to make a dramatic speech about how he has to talk to her about something really serious, and how all the guys should just let him talk to her first, and all the guys are just like... So Cam finally gets to talk to her about this really serious thing during the tailgate / cocktail hour. And he sits her down and talks about how he had an amputation, then his grandma died, then he had to give away his puppy at some point, and I'm pretty sure he just like looked up sad things to say. Does he know what an amputation is, or did he just Google it? Because he's not missing any limbs, which means the only thing that could have been amputated was Then, actually, in a really exciting moment, Cam gets sent home, doesn't get a rose. I mean, Luke P is still there, so like, meh. But when, Chris Harrison says, okay, fellas, I'm sorry, it's time for you to say your goodbyes. Like, the other dudes are saying goodbye and Cam's just looking for someone to say goodbye to. I think it's like John Paul Jones, and then like no one wants to say goodbye to him. Alright guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to subscribe because I do this for every single video. I'm probably going to do it for Bachelor in Paradise, so hit that subscribe button. Subscribe.